Welcome back, Yappers. This is Yap Trap Podcast. I'm your host, Jordan, and on this podcast, we talk about pop culture, society, books, TV, or anything else that I'm fixated on. So let's get straight into it. I am, of course, so excited for this week's episode. On this episode, we are going to be talking about a topic that is very near and dear to my heart, and that is baby names, social media's impact on baby names, influencer baby names, celebrity baby names, everything baby name related. Am I pregnant or intending to get pregnant anytime in the near future? Absolutely not. Have I always been and always will be obsessed with baby names? Yes, I can't explain it. Let's get into it. This is something that has been on my mind for a while now. I feel like everywhere I turn online, people are talking about baby names. Not just the usual, someone's had a baby and this is what they've named them kind of way, but like full-blown discourse. I'm not pregnant, I'm not trying to get pregnant, yet the baby name obsession has fully infiltrated my TikTok, Instagram, and even my YouTube algorithm. For a while now, celebrities have been naming their children in all kinds of interesting ways, but the unique celebrity baby name has given way to something much more interesting, and that is the influencer baby name. We've got influencers like Nara Smith and Francesca Farrago dropping videos titled "Baby Names I Loved But Didn't Use," full of wild and wacky names like Orca, Button, and Dare, baby name consultants on TikTok giving bespoke name lists, and girls I went to high school with naming their children after comic book characters. And of course, the most recent baby name to have the internet in an absolute chokehold is Trisha Paytas' recent baby name, which is Aquaman Moses Paytas Hackman. The psychology of naming and why are we so obsessed with names? Let's talk about why we actually care so much. As I said, this is something that I've been obsessed with for as long as I can remember. I've had a baby name list on my notes app since I was 15 years old. And honestly, I know I'm not alone. I've spoken to so many girls and so many friends that also have a list tucked away in the notes app of their phones. There's something comforting and creative about it. And I'd be lying if I didn't say that I didn't check it regularly. I've been frequently updating the list over the years, adding names or subtracting names as I move through life. And I've even read my list aloud to a few other fellow list holders so we can confer and compare our baby names. Growing up, I wasn't just into baby names, I was obsessed with character names. I used to create my own characters and make up really elaborate backstories for them, and choosing their names was my favorite part. I've always had this weird obsession or fixation on names. I even downloaded a baby name app when I was like 14 years old and used to scroll through it for inspiration because I would use that app to name the characters in the stories that I would come up with. Like, I've always been into creative writing, I've always been into stories, and I would use this app to come up with story character names. When I was younger, I was so obsessed with the TV show Gossip Girl that what I used to do is I used to create my own Gossip Girl characters that I would make up, and I would give them my own names, but I wanted these names to sound preppy and rich and wealthy and like they came from New York, Upper East Side. So I would use these baby name apps to come up with these like really elaborate old money sounding names like Daphne Davenport or whatever it was, and I was just so obsessed with naming characters. There's something weirdly magical about naming. It feels really creative, personal, meaningful, like storytelling. One article I read in The Stylist described it perfectly. There is a special kind of magic in baby naming, something so universally appealing about it that links deeply to storytelling, culture, and creative expression. And I really think that's it. Baby names are this limitless, open canvas, and we project so much onto them. It's not about the baby, it's about the name. You don't have to be pregnant to be obsessed with baby names. I'm not, and yet here we are. And I know I'm not the only one. There are subreddits, blogs, TikToks, and full-on communities dedicated to the art of hypothetically naming their children. A piece from The Cut puts it like this: names filter into the air that we breathe. We're constantly surrounded by them in pop culture, on Instagram, in our group chats, and we are as aware of them as any kind of style choice. Naming a baby is the original personal branding moment. Naming as an identity and the fear of sameness. One of the big drivers behind this obsession is individuality. On a Name Nerd subreddit, someone asked, why are people so obsessed with unique names? And the top answer was basically no one wants their kid to be Liam J in a class full of Liams. Because for a lot of us, that's what we grew up with. I was born in the 90s. I went to school in the 2000s and 2010s. And I can't tell you how many names were super, super popular. We had so many Ashleys, Jessicas, Lukes, Jakes, Jacks. There were so many names that were just so common. It wasn't uncommon for those names to have 3 or 4 kids with that name. It's not the end of the world, but there's this quiet anxiety around sameness. Parents want their child to stand out, but not in a way that's too weird. It's a balancing act. Unique, but not cringe. Memorable, but still employable. Something that won't get them bullied or sound too basic in 5 years. It's deeper than it seems. A name sticks with you. The New Yorker summed it up perfectly. A name can track a person from a hospital bracelet to the gravestone. That's kind of terrifying and powerful all at once. A name can shape how someone is perceived, their confidence, their job prospects, even supposedly their chances of going to prison. No pressure. My name is Jordan, and when I was a kid, I had a love-hate relationship with my name. In primary school, there were 3 Jordans in my year level, 2 boys and me. So I always grew up with this commentary of, oh, Jordan, that's a boy's name. Jordan is for boys. Why are you a girl with the name Jordan? Which is ridiculous because I feel like nowadays, Jordan is actually most commonly a girl's name, but back when I was growing up, there was only boy Jordans. People only had ever met a boy Jordan. There was a moment that really stuck with me, and I think it probably scarred me a little bit, but basically when I was in year 3, we got pen pals from Italy, and we were so excited because we knew we were getting these pen pals for weeks in advance, and our Italian teacher had told us that our pen pals had written us letters, and they were sending us letters, and they knew who they were writing to, and we finally received these letters, and we were so excited. And I remember getting my pen pal, and it was a boy, and my pen pal referred to me as a boy in his letter to me, and I was so upset because all of the other girls had girl pen pals. Because my name was Jordan, they assumed that I was a boy, and they also gave me a boy who thought I was a boy, and he kept saying, he kept referring to me as if I was a boy, and it was really upsetting. And I remember just sitting in class crying because I was like, I have a fucking boy's name, like what the fuck? And I was so upset by it. But as I got older, I grew to love my name. I think it suits me perfectly. It's solid, it's not super common, and I don't know, I just really like it. I think it really suits me. And I also actually enjoy subverting expectations. So I work in a corporate job, and I quite frequently get misgendered when people are emailing me. They'll refer to me as a he in the email chain, and I love when I can subvert those expectations and get on the phone with someone and be like, hi, this is Jordan, and there's that kind of pause of surprise. Like, I just really enjoy that. And maybe all of that, the teasing, the pen pal mix up, the years of people saying, wait, Jordan's a girl, or saying he when they're talking about me, maybe that's where my obsession with names started. Because for me, it was never just a label. It was identity, perception, and power all rolled into one word. So it's no wonder why we treat it like a big deal. It is a big deal. And of course, I feel like nowadays, social media is only pouring fuel on that fire. It's not just about naming your baby, it's about naming them in front of an audience, and we'll get to that in the next section. The impact of social media on baby names. Our obsession with baby names definitely predates the internet. Baby name books were a thing long before TikTok. I think they started to get really popular in the 1980s, but social media has, of course, completely supercharged it. It's no longer about picking a name you love. It's about picking one that won't be too trendy, too common, or too cringy when your child hits high school. As Vox points out, modern parents are terrified of choosing a name that feels too overdone. You see a name on the internet like Cove or Luna or Atlas and think, oh, that's fresh, that's interesting, I've never heard that before. But by the end of the week, it's popped up in 5 different reels or TikToks, and someone you followed just named their baby that. Suddenly, it feels basic, and the cycle continues. Are we branding our children? Yeah, kinda. I feel like in the digital world, there's this pressure for everything to be a brand. There's a growing trend of naming your child with their future online presence in mind. People are choosing names that will sound good on a future LinkedIn profile, or look aesthetically pleasing in an Instagram bio, or are rare enough where you can get the TikTok and Instagram usernames. Like, there are parents out there, influencer parents or celebrity parents, that are claiming their child's future Instagram handle before the child is even born. That is absolute insanity. And there are so many family vloggers out there that do this. I think family vloggers are probably the worst for actually doing this and really treating the naming of their children as a branding exercise. And they're the sorts of people that create Instagrams for their children before their children are even born. And as their children are really young, they're developing a social media presence for their children based on the name of the child as the brand before the child can even talk and walk. It's absolute insanity. It sounds dystopian when you say it out loud, but it's real. Parents are consciously or not branding their children from birth with these names. Name envy is also something to consider. There's also this weird phenomenon where you hear a baby name and feel like it's so cool or so unique that you almost mourn the fact that it's taken, like someone else got the perfect username before you. And I did actually have a situation like this happen to me where there was a name that I thought was so cool, and I read it in a book, and it was actually the name of a book character. It was a fantasy book. It was not a crazy name, like it was a fairly innocuous name, but it was just slightly different, maybe not super common. And I put it in my baby names list, of course, even though, as I said, no intention of having a child anytime soon. But I put it in my baby names list. And for some reason in my mind, I was so set on this name. I was like, yeah, that name's an amazing name. I'm going to name that for my child. And then I'm still at that stage where not really many of my friends have children, or at least no one in my immediate circle has children. However, a few people that I was kind of friendly with a couple of years ago, they've started to have kids. And there was one of my friends that me and my fiance, we're both friends with them. We've been friends with them for about 8-9 years. They just had their first child, and she named her child this name that in my mind I had like bags. And I remember, like, I was obviously so happy for her, and I was like, clearly she has amazing taste because I love that name. But I remember having this moment of like, oh, for fuck's sake, now I can't use that name. And I'm so glad that she got that name, and it's a really cute name clearly, and it works so well for her child. But there was that small part of me that's like, for Christ's sake, now that she's used that name, I can't use that bloody name. Like, you've stolen my name, even though I have no claim to it whatsoever. And she's much more deserving of that name. But there is that name envy there, and it's so ridiculous and it's so unfounded, but it does exist, and I can't deny that I have not fallen victim to it myself. And I think this is why people keep baby name lists, even if they're not pregnant, even if they don't plan on ever having kids. There's just something satisfying about collecting good names. It feels like you're curating identity. Here's where TikTok baby name consultants and trend predictors come into it. Yes, this is a real thing, and my algorithm has recently been completely infiltrated by TikTok baby name consultants and trend predictors. So there are literally people on TikTok and Instagram that are consultants that literally charge money to come up with a baby name for people. Now, I don't know the sorts of people that are actually engaging in these services. Like, are they like really wealthy people that are like, oh, I need a consultant to come up with a baby name? Because as far as I'm concerned, like, I have my list. Like, I would never engage a consultant because I've had my baby names picked out since I was 15. But there are people out there that seek out these consultants for their services. So what is a name consultant? To put it simply, a baby name consultant is a professional who specializes in helping parents navigate choosing a name for their baby, or sometimes helps clients choose new names for themselves. Name consultants are well versed in trends, niche naming topics, and are able to analyze client preferences. One such TikTok naming consultant is called Grow Little Wildflower and uses her TikTok to promote her services as a baby name consultant. This woman, Michelle, has over 4 years of experience as a professional baby name consultant and is based in Brisbane, Australia. She says that she uses an intuitive approach alongside family history, astrology, and tapping into the signs your baby may have already sent you. In terms of choosing a baby name service, there are a variety of packages to suit your needs and budget. The designer name package is $4,999 and is perfect for high-profile public figures and mamas who crave distinction. This service offers a bespoke naming experience like no other, includes a questionnaire, Zoom calls, short list of names, ongoing naming support, unlimited revisions, and name discussions for up to 9 months. TikTok naming consultants are one thing, but there are also name predictors. So these are TikTok accounts that actually predict celebrity, influencer, and reality TV star baby names. According to Forbes, a creator called M Doodles went viral after sharing her predictions for influencer baby names, and people ate it up. Her first viral video hit 1 million views in just a week, and now she regularly predicts ultra-specific, ultra-aesthetic names influencers will choose next. And she's actually suspiciously accurate.
I do influencer baby name predictions, and today is another reveal day for our final triple mom talk pregnancy, in the sense that Macy and Michaela chose baby girl names deriving from the same name of origin. Michaela has Lottie June. Okay, we're only on clue 2, you probably already figured it out. Oh, and Macy also used a month middle name, okay? Lottie, June, and with older siblings, Hudson and Harlow, I had hoped we would see the Glenn to Zenora theory come into play. That's the theory that younger siblings often get more unique names. I was completely wrong. They did the opposite. I had hoped the family would steer away from E-ending names because of how it may sound paired with the last name of Neely. I was completely wrong. The name does end in the E sound, but it doesn't end with Y or EE or EY or IE, and the name begins with C. The middle name begins with M, and the name is Charli. Charli May. Charli Neely. Did you get it right?
But the real driver here is the algorithm. Once you engage with one baby name reel, just one, the internet assumes you're planning a pregnancy announcement and basically hijacks your entire feed. As Mamma Mia puts it, once you engage with one of these accounts or pocket a list in your Instagram saved folder, you get served more. The algorithm assumes you're in the throes of baby naming and assaults your feed with other lists of trending names you might be interested in. It's relentless. For example, there might be names with a New York prep school vibe, tortured poet department inspired baby names, vintage Belgian compound names. There's so many different variations of this. Old money names, modern names, trendy names, cottagecore names. The list goes on and on. At first, it's kind of fun. It seems harmless, a little name spo, if you will. But this article goes on to say that even after you've picked your name, announced it, and moved on, the algorithm doesn't stop. It keeps going and will even serve videos like, here are 745 baby names you might like better. Here's how common the name you actually picked is. Here's the cultural context it exists in and why thousands of others also chose that name. It's a feedback loop that fuels self-doubt. Did I choose the right name? Is it too trendy now? Is it too basic? Will I regret it? Michelle Brady, a senior research fellow at UQ, summed it up perfectly. In today's world, a name is more than what a teacher calls you. It's your identity, your social media handle, your website, and parents don't want their kids to end up as Sarah Smith 203. And thanks to platforms like TikTok and Instagram, baby names have become content. They're curated, aesthetic, and meant to signal something about the parents, which brings me to influencer baby names, because those deserve their own category entirely. Now, I have to call it spade to spade and confess my truth, and that is that I am obsessed with celebrity and influencer baby names. I am part of the problem. I can't help it. As soon as an influencer announces that they're going to have a baby, the only thing I care about is the baby's name. Like, I'm just so curious about what they're going to call the baby. I wait with bated breath for the pregnancy announcement because I want to know which direction they've taken the name in. Is it a normal name? Is it a crazy name? Is it a unique name? How does the first name flow with the last name? Have they gone middle name? No middle name? Is it a double whammy name? Is it a common name? Is it a rare name? I don't know, but I want to know and I love knowing. And there have been quite a few influencer pregnancies recently that I have just been following along because I'm so curious to see what they're going to name their baby. Once upon a time, celebrities like Gwyneth Paltrow shocked the world by naming their child Apple. But in today's online culture, Apple would barely make a ripple. That's because social media influencers and increasingly reality TV stars are taking unique baby names to absurd, often meme-worthy new heights. I remember when everyone was shocked when Kim Kardashian and Kanye West named their baby Northwest, but honestly, nowadays, North almost seems like kind of tame because I feel like we're so desensitized to these crazy names. So why are influencer names so out there? What's the obsession with coming up with a really unique name? According to Forbes, it might be all about standing out. TikToker mdoodle suggests influencers and celebrities lean into unusual names because they're performing for the masses. With massive followings and the internet watching, the goal isn't just to name a child, it's to brand them. In the same way they curate their outfits, their homes, and their oat milk lattes, they're curating their children's identities too. An article in The Independent goes even further, explaining how social media platforms like TikTok and Instagram have turned the baby naming into an interactive, high-stakes spectacle. There's now a whole content economy around it. Names we love but aren't using videos, teaser posts, hints dropped across multiple platforms, and eventual sponsored reveals. Influencers stretch out the mystery of what they've named their child for maximum engagement because, let's be real, the reveal of their baby name or their birth is one of the most profitable and lucrative life milestones that they can promote on their social media. Take Francesca Farrago, the star of Too Hot to Handle, who documented her entire baby naming process online, for example, floating names like Lovely, Baby, November, nicknamed to Novi, and even Sunday and Monday, before eventually settling on the names Poetry and Locket for her twins. This wasn't just a sentimental reveal, it was a multi-part saga with 14 million views and counting.
So I have been waiting to do the baby names I love but won't be using trend for like 2 years now. So I wanted to make a video and talk about baby names that I love. You guys can know my naming style, and maybe someone will give a suggestion, and that'll be our new like top favorite name. So we really love the name Heart. We also really love the name Lovely. Names with Steph. She's one of my favorite baby namers because all of her names are really out of the box. She actually emailed me and recommended Lovely.
You saying Lovely is making me like it more.
Really?
Like you saying it over.
Lovely? Mm-hmm. It's nice, right? Always loved the name Golden or Goldie, but it's a little bit too popular for me. I've always really liked the name Baby. I feel like a baby named Baby Blue would be so cute, but I don't think a baby growing up, like, I think baby is cute for a baby, but I don't think it's cute for like an adult. So I feel like that's kind of off the list, but I still really love the name Baby. We love, actually Arlo suggested this, but lyrics, like song lyrics, but we love the name Lyrics, just as is. We love that name. Love week names and I love month names. I love Sunday. I love Monday. I feel like they're maybe a little bit too popular. I know they're kind of rising, but I also really, really love November as a name. November, nickname Novi.
Or Nara Smith, the TikTok influencer who rose to fame through videos of elaborate house-made meals. Her kids' names, Whimsy Lou, Slim Easy, and Rumble Honey. When expecting her fourth child, she admitted that the bar is now impossibly high. Her vetoed list of names includes Silk, Dare, Button, Twinkle, and Willow Mirror. She liked Apple but ruled that out because it's obviously already been taken, so she couldn't possibly use that name.
I'm currently 6 months pregnant with our fourth. For reference, our kids all have pretty unique names. My oldest daughter, her name's Rumble Honey. Then we have my boy Slim Easy, and we just had a baby about a year-ish ago. Her name's Whimsy Lou. So it's getting harder and harder coming up with names, but here are some names I love. The first name is Moonbeam, and the second name Ice Cream. I love the name Moss, Goody, Sunday, but spelled like the actual Sunday, so Sundae. Champ and Silk. I also really like the name Dare for a boy. Girl names. I feel like boy names are a little easier to come up with, but maybe that's just me. Girl names, I love the name Twinkle, Velvet. Button is so cute to me. Willowmere, which I don't know, it feels like a more classic name. I love the name Apple, love the name Berry, Berry. Another name that I love is Butter. Last but not least, I love the name Merit and Shimmer. All of these can kind of go as a first or second name, but it's getting harder. I'm just joking. I've seen the comments.
These aren't just names, they're statements. They're aesthetic, aspirational, and clickable. Which brings us to the entire reason I was inspired to make this episode, Trisha Paytas. Where do I even begin? Trisha has been a chaotic fixture of the internet since the early YouTube days, known for her trolling, her fast-talking interviews, obsession with tanning, which actually landed her a spot on My Strange Addiction, and her turbulent friendships and feuds with Shane Dawson, Jeffree Star, the Vlog Squad, and Frenemies co-host Ethan Klein. Trisha is one of those influencers that feels like she has been on the internet or on YouTube since the dawn of time, really. Like, I feel like she's always been a part of the internet and a part of internet culture. So Trisha is no stranger to attention or capturing the world's interest. So when she had kids, of course, she leaned all the way in. Her first child was called Malibu Barbie. Her second was called Elvis. And her most recent son is called Aquaman Moses Paytas Hackman. Critics have called the names cruel and selfish. But honestly, if you've followed Trisha for as long as I have, you wouldn't expect her to name her kid anything even remotely conventional. These names are pure Trisha: camp, chaotic, internet core, and like everything she does, she's able to keep people talking about her. Whether you love them or hate them, influencer baby names have become the ultimate form of online identity curation. And thanks to algorithms feeding us the endless content on names, we're all being swept up in the spectacle, whether pregnant or not. But with the impact of social media, baby name trends are constantly shifting and evolving. For instance, what is popular right now is what the internet has coined as comfort core names. So it seems as though we're actually starting to see a trend away from these crazy out their names, and people are kind of reverting back to more old school traditional names, but with a cottagecore twist to them. 3 of the reality TV stars from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives have just given birth to baby girls, and all have gone down this kind of comfort core trend with naming their children more traditional names. Jen Affleck called her daughter Penelope, Michaela Matthews called her daughter Lottie June, and Macy Neely called her daughter Charli May. According to KidSpot, this is a trend that we can actually expect to see more of, although I don't know how much I believe that, because it feels like with the internet, trends are changing every single day. They claim that as a society, we're craving connection, comfort, and softness. It's a gentle rebellion against the chaos of modern life, a nostalgic return to what feels slow, safe, and familiar. In baby name terms, that means soft syllables, vintage charm, and names that sound like they should come stitched into a quilt. We also recently saw Hailey and Justin Bieber take an unexpected approach when they named their son Jack Blues. Hailey is often touted as a bit of a trend maker, so I wonder if, especially with her going back to a more traditional approach with the name, if we'll start to see other celebrities and influencers follow suit. Are the days of X-Ash A12, courtesy of Grimes and Elon Musk, Saga Blade Fox Baker, MGK and Megan Fox, and River Rocket Blue Dallas, Jamie Oliver, a thing of the past? Are we moving back towards traditionalism? Only time will tell. At the end of the day, of course, name your baby what you want to name your baby. This is just fun for the sake of fun. I love talking about names. Clearly, I'm obsessed with names. Like, I don't know what's wrong with me. I probably have psychological issues. I don't know. I'm obsessed with names. I love names. I'm so fascinated by influencer, celebrity, baby names, even the people that I know. Oh my gosh. Like, as I said, I'm 28 now, so I know quite a few girls that I went to high school with that are having babies, and I love seeing what they're going to name their baby. I'm so curious about it. I just want to know so badly, and I don't know why. But yeah, I'm obsessed with baby names. But like I said, at the end of the day, name your baby what you want to name your baby. It's up to you. I'm not going to, like, despite this video that I just spent like 30 minutes yapping on about baby names, I'm not actually going to judge anyone for what they choose to name their baby. I just find it really, really interesting. But that brings me to the end of this very online rabbit hole, one paved with Instagram saved followers, Pinterest boards, and viral TikToks whispering whimsical, nostalgic, or downright unhinged baby names onto our feeds. Whether you're pregnant, planning, or just nosy, no judgment, I'm clearly all in. It's fascinating to watch how something as personal as baby naming has morphed into kind of a public spectacle. A name isn't just a name anymore, it's branding, it's aesthetic, it's content, and increasingly it's shaped less by family tradition or cultural heritage and more by algorithms, influencers, and whatever's trending on your For You page. We used to get baby name inspiration from books and our grandparents. Now we get it from a stranger's baby names I love but won't be using, or if you like the name George, check out these names video that's been viewed 14 million times. And look, there's no right or wrong here. If your child's name is Poetry or Jack, that's your call. But it's worth reflecting on how much influence the digital world has over our choices that are supposed to be very deeply personal, and how we're now naming our children in an attention economy where uniqueness equals clicks, and even your baby's name can go viral. So next time you get served a TikTok that's called old money sounding baby names, just remember, you can engage with it, enjoy it, laugh at it, but you don't have to let the internet name your baby. You get to name your baby, and although I'm not pregnant, I could only imagine what it's like out there for mothers who are pregnant or expecting. It would just feel like anything nowadays, so overwhelming and so overloaded with information. There's so much information out there, and the minute you look one thing up, the algorithm latches onto it and it's your entire feed. So there is a lot out there, and just remember that it's your baby, it's your name. The internet does not have to name your baby. Okay, so I think I am finished talking about baby names now. I really hope that you enjoyed that little baby name segment. It's just a topic that has been floating around in my mind, and I started writing notes about it. The more I looked into it, the more excited I was to do an episode on this topic, because obviously Trisha gave birth to her baby like a couple of weeks ago, and I was super interested in that. And that just kind of got me thinking like, wow, baby names are a massive thing on the internet, and I'm obsessed with names, and my algorithm knows that I'm obsessed with names. So let's do a podcast episode discussing. But now, because this is a little bit of a shorter episode, I'm actually going to finish up with a few recommendations. So I haven't done recommendations in a few episodes, so I did just want to leave you with some wonderful recommendations, because when I'm obsessed with something, I can't stop talking about it. So the first thing I'd like to recommend is a Bridgerton prequel series by Julia Quinn. Now, of course, I'm sure we're all familiar with Bridgerton, the TV show, and Bridgerton is of course based off a book series about the 8 Bridgerton siblings. I've never actually read that original 8-book series, and I don't think I will, because I'm kind of enjoying discovering the romantic pairings through the show, and I've tried to like remain fairly spoiler free about the future pairings of the show because I want to experience it as the show is coming out. However, I was recently looking for something to read, and my library had the audiobook available for a Bridgerton prequel series, and I was just desperate for something to listen to, because if there is one thing about me, I cannot sit in silence or do things without having an audiobook, a podcast, music, or a YouTube video playing. Like, obviously there's something wrong with me. I digress, but basically I always love to have an audiobook on the go for that reason, because I just need constant stimulation. Anyways, and I was looking on my library to see what was available because I just needed something. I was like, I'm desperate for content. Like, what can I listen to right now? Just finished another audiobook. I had no podcast left to listen to. And this book came up, and I'm not really a historical romance reader or a Regency era reader. I don't know. Like, obviously I like the TV show, but it's just not something that I reach for. Like, I know it's a whole genre on its own, but like, it's just not something I tend to reach for. But I saw this audiobook. It was 9 hours. I was like, great. Like, let's just get it. I am obsessed with it. It was actually so good, and I binge listened to the entire series because my library had the entire series available, and it was so good. So what is a Bridgerton prequel about? Well, the Bridgerton prequel, also known as the Rokesby series, follows the romantic lives of the Rokesby siblings, neighbors and close family friends of the Bridgertons, offering a glimpse into the generation before the beloved Bridgerton novels. These stories weave together witty banter, slow burn romance, and Regency era charm, revealing how the Bridgerton legacy of love and loyalty first took root. From unexpected marriages of convenience to charming tales of mistaken identity, the series explores the courtships of characters who live just next door to the Bridgertons, and sometimes are the Bridgertons, with frequent cameos from younger Bridgerton parents, including Edmund and Violet. The series sets the stage for the family dynamics and romantic ideals that will shape the next generation. We do also get a cameo of Anthony and Benedict as children as well, which is really cool. So there are 4 Rokesby brothers, and each of the books follows one of the Rokesby brothers as they, of course, get married and fall in love. It's got that Regency era decadence to it. It actually feels quite well written as well, which really surprised me. I don't know why, but I really was under the impression that the Bridgerton novels weren't that good. Like, I don't know why I thought that, and I don't know how good the Bridgerton novels are, but I guess I didn't expect this series to be so high in quality. Like, it was really well written. The dialogue was well done. It was descriptive. I enjoyed the flow of the writing. It was just really, really good. So if you're looking something really easy and romantic and fluffy and decadent to read, I really recommend checking it out. It was so good. And also, if you love the show Bridgerton, then you're going to love these books as well. The next thing I'm going to recommend is for my podcast gals, and that is the Big Small Talk podcast. I had been recommended this podcast a few times, but it just didn't really pique my interest, because when I listen to podcasts, I usually like something that's quite unserious, entertaining, stories. That's the sort of thing that I go for. I mean, obviously with this podcast, like, you can probably tell the sort of thing that I'm into. But it kept being recommended to me. And as I said, I can't sit in silence for a single second. So there was another time where I just completely run out of content to consume. And I was like, fine, I'll give Big Small Talk a go. And of course, I freaking loved it. So Big Small Talk is a podcast hosted by Australian girls Hannah and Sarah, where they discuss a wide range of topics from personal life experiences and opinions on current events to pop culture and occasional interviews. But what I really like about this podcast is that it aims to bridge the gap between everyday small talk and deeper, more significant conversations about politics, our collective thoughts and trends and how they impact the world, social media, society, culture. And it's very informative, but in a way that's really palatable and easy to consume. So for example, they recently did a podcast episode on the mushroom trial case. If you're Australian, then you know all about the mushroom trials. Basically, the short of it is that a woman essentially poisoned people with mushrooms. She cooked it up in dinner and she poisoned them. Again, I see, I can't even explain it. I can't do that. I can't take court cases and make them sound palatable, but that's what this podcast did. And it was really, really interesting and really well produced. And I really, really enjoyed it. So if you're looking for another podcast to listen to and you want something that's a little bit more, I don't want to say highbrow, sorry, sidebar. I freaking hate the term highbrow. I hate highbrow, lowbrow. Piss off. Like, why are you trying to make me feel dumb? Like, if I just had to say it right now, you know, the whole highbrow, lowbrow thing, I'm a lowbrow person. Clearly, I'm a lowbrow person. I feel like the term highbrow, lowbrow, it feels fucking pretentious, if I'm being honest with you. Like, the term highbrow feels really pretentious, and I much more identify with lowbrow things. I like lowbrow TV, reality TV, like YouTube, podcasts, like trashy books and novels. Like, I'm going to stop going on a tangent, but basically this podcast, it takes information that is, maybe it could be considered complex, and it's really easy to consume. Anyway, let's move on. The next thing that I'm going to recommend is the BYS liquid eyeliner. So I am a liquid eyeliner girly. I have worn liquid eyeliner pretty much since I was 15 years old, and I watched New Girl and saw Zooey Deschanel wearing the most gorgeous cat eye winged eyeliner, and I've always been obsessed with winged eyeliner ever since. And here's the thing, now at age 28, I feel like winged eyeliner is not as popular with the children, because I feel like, you know, not children, I just mean like young girls nowadays. I feel like, you know, when you're in your early 20s, it's more trendy to go for that clean girl makeup aesthetic. So winged eyeliner is quite dated, or at least that's like, I think I saw a TikTok about that winged eyeliner is like a bit outdated, but I love it. I'm sorry, I'm a winged eyeliner girl, and if that makes me daggy, then I really don't care. But I love a gorgeous winged eyeliner. I wear it every single day. I wear it to work. I've tried my fair share of liquid eyeliners over the years, and there have been some absolute shockers. But one thing about me is that I am not willing to spend a lot of money on makeup. I just personally don't think it's worth it. I much prefer to buy cheap makeup. And I was in a bit of a pinch. My eyeliner ran out. Usually I buy the Maybelline liquid eyeliner. I couldn't get it for whatever reason. And so I picked up the BYS liquid eyeliner. It is $6. And it's so good. It just applies so nicely, and it creates like this gorgeous line, and like it's not too thin, because sometimes I find with liquid eyeliner it can be too thin. Anyway, I'm getting too into the weeds of liquid eyeliner, but it's a really good liquid eyeliner. It's $6 and I will be buying it again. And I feel like BYS low key, like I feel like it kind of serves. Like I feel like it has some really good quality makeup. Not everything, like there's some absolute trash with BYS. They do slay occasionally. The final thing I would like to recommend is for my Vampire Diaries and YouTube obsessed girlies. So there is one YouTuber, his name is Luke Alexander. I will link his video and his channel down below. But for the past 2 years, he has been doing a series on YouTube, and it is a Vampire Diaries deep dive series, and it is so good. Like I said, he's been doing this series for 2 years, and every time he drops a new video in this series, I am so ready, popcorn out. And each of these videos, it's basically a deep dive into Vampire Diaries, and he gives his commentary and he like explains the whole plot. And as we established in the last episode of the podcast, I love Vampire Diaries, so this is the perfect YouTube series for me. Mike's Mike is another great example of a YouTuber that does this and is so funny and provides such hilarious and witty commentary on TV and movies. But yeah, this series by Luke Alexander is just absolutely incredible. It is so high quality and he's so funny. And where he's up to right now, he's up to season 4 of Vampire Diaries, about midway through. And yeah, he drops a new part of the series every couple of months. And oh my gosh, it's just so good. And he recently just dropped another part. That's why it's top of mind. But yeah, if you're into the Vampire Diaries, you're nostalgic for the Vampire Diaries, but maybe you don't want to sit through the Vampire Diaries, Diaries, check out this series by Luke Alexander because it is so good. That is it from the Trap this week. Thank you so much for listening. If you are listening on Spotify or Apple Podcasts, please follow the podcast, give it 5 stars. It really helps out. Spread the word, tell a friend about it. If you are watching this video on YouTube, then please like this video, maybe leave a comment. Also, please come and follow me over on Instagram at YapTrap the podcast and come and say hello. When creating something like this, it does sometimes feel, I love it so much and I feel so fulfilled by this podcast. And so I feel like I would create it even if there was no one listening. But if you are listening, please let me know if you have any feedback or if you've got any episode requests, because I would love to hear from you because it does sometimes feel like I am speaking into the abyss. But that is all good. Any help in spreading the word about this podcast is much appreciated. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you have the most incredible week and I will be back next week.